The launch of the WoW Classic Hardcore servers is just around the corner. But before these servers goes live, then I've taken some decisions, done some planning and preparations, so I don't have to spend time doing this at the launch day. With all that being said, then I don't plan to min-max all the way up to 60. In fact, I just plan to chill and enjoy the journey all the way up to max level. So the first thing you need to do is to decide what class to play. For me personally, I've chosen a class where I find it fun to level, but it also has a decent chance to survive and make it all the way up to 60. It's gonna be very important this time that you also take into consideration if it's going to be a good class at level 60. Because the guilds that plan to raid will definitely also be looking for the best DPS, as this will increase their chance of killing the boss and not dying. However, I believe a lot of people will just enjoy the fresh experience and also try the hardcore journey. So the class that you're going to play should just be a class that you find fun to level, because 60 levels is gonna take some time. At the launch day, I plan to skip quests like this. So quests where you need to kill one specific monster with a high respawn time. You are going to lose so much time if you try to attempt this. In some cases, you might end up spending 20 to maybe even 30 minutes, and then you decide to abandon the quest. Meanwhile, you could have killed so many monsters and granted way more experience. This is also the same case with different quests where you need to loot an object with a respawn time. There can be a lot of people waiting for these, so if that's the case, then make sure to also skip these. By the time I reach level 6, and if I could afford my most important spells at this level, then I'm gonna spend the remaining silver to purchase a bag. Getting bags early on is gonna be important, because you won't need to spend so much time going back and forward in between the vendors to sell items all the time. And you're not going to destroy items to make sure you have an inventory for a quest item. So in the end, the 5 silver will turn into a lot of gold. And talking about gold, then you should probably also try to consider what you should be doing to make sure you have enough gold for your level 40 mount. One thing you could be doing is to farm raw gold, so killing creatures that drops items you can vendor for a higher amount. This way you can make enough gold for your mount without using the auction house or trade with people. On top of this, you can also make a lot of additional gold by leveling up skinning. When many people level, there will also be a lot of dead corpses, and these you can just skin and then you vendor the litter right away. And when you combine this together with a raw gold farming location where the creatures you need to kill are beasts, well, then you can also skin these. If you're interested in this way of leveling, well, then I've also made a complete guide with everything I kill all the way up to max level to get a lot of raw gold as I level up my character. You can find a link to this video in the description, and there you'll also find many other useful hardcore guides. So what professions will I choose? Well, definitely fishing and first aid. These are secondary professions. Fishing will allow me to collect different materials for other professions, and first aid a way for me to heal in combat as a class without a healing spell. The first major profession I will choose is going to be engineering. Engineering has different bombs that do AoE damage, but also stun targets. And on top of this, I also get the most important item as a hardcore player, the advanced target dummy. An item you can place on the ground, and this will have a high amount of health and also taunt all nearby enemies. So if you accidentally pull too many enemies, or a person in your dungeon group pulled an elite, well, then you can spawn your own tank and get away successfully. Because of this profession is also extremely useful at max level. The other profession I'm going to pick will of course be mining, so I can gather my own materials for leveling up engineering. If I wasn't going to level engineering and mining, then my second choice would definitely be herbalism and alchemy. These two professions are amazing together, because now you can make your own potions, so for example mana and healing potions, but also many others that will increase your chance of making it all the way up to 60. If you still haven't decided your professions, then I would highly recommend you to check out my hardcore profession picking guide. You can also find this in the description below the video. By the way, when you need to pick a profession, then remember to also take into consideration if it's going to help you level up to 60. Because at level 60, you could always unlearn the profession and pick the right choice for a max level character. So a profession that will benefit you at level 60. But when you level, you need to pick a profession that will increase your chance of making it all the way up to level 60. Earlier in this video, I was also talking about different ways to make raw gold. But there's also another way to make sure you can afford your level 40 mount, and that is to not purchase every single spell at the trainer. So be careful with your gold when you need to purchase something new, and make sure that this spell will benefit your leveling. This will be the exact same with your talent tree, so you need to plan what talents you would like to go with and what will be the best talent tree for a leveling spec. Else, you might also end up spending a lot of gold resetting your talent tree. You can easily find a decent leveling tree on Google, or maybe even find some inspiration in my class guides. You can find a link to these in the description as well. Now that I plan to level an alliance, then when I go to Westfall, I will also be killing these dust devils. They have a chance to drop a magic dust, an item you can use on a target to sleep them for 30 seconds. This is gonna help me a lot when I need to level up, but also at max level when I need to CC a target in a dungeon. For those of you that will be playing Horde, then I would instead recommend you to do a quest in Duatar. You can pick this up at around level 5. This quest will reward you with an item that has 10 charges. This will net a target, so make them unable to move for 10 seconds. So pretty mandatory when you need to level up, but also as a max level character. In WoW Classic, there's many different ways to travel around in the world to save time, but most of these also require you to die. This is not an option on Hardcore, and therefore I've put together a guide where you can travel around in the world a lot easier without dying, to get to different starting zones and also other important locations. I would highly recommend you to check that out, so you could either get some inspiration or maybe even follow it on a PTR, beta or even WoW Classic era server, so you're prepared for WoW Classic Hardcore. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, then I also plan to chill way more this time, and probably just see if I can make it all the way up to 60 without dying. Therefore, I'm also unsure if I'm gonna follow a leveling add-on or not. A benefit of following an add-on like this would be that I don't need to do a lot of research to figure out where I'll need to go next. And on top of this, it also just allows me to chill way more when I need to level up the character, because I can just follow each step in the guide and get to 60 that way. And it's even custom made for Hardcore, so it will skip different elite quests and other difficult objects. But then again, will this be a fun way to level up my character, and will I even enjoy the journey when I follow a custom made guide that everyone else will also follow? Because I'm not gonna write my own journey this way. Or well, yeah, in one way I will be, but it will be the same story as everyone else. You are following an add-on to 60. What is your opinion about this? Will you be using Rested Experience or any other leveling guide out there, or will you skip them when you're going to level up your character? Let me know this in a comment below the video. As your character reaches a higher level, then you should also start focusing on doing the attunements. That way you do them before you're 60 and you grant experience at the same time. So maybe it might be a good decision to look into the different attunements and things that will be important to do before you reach level 60. On this webpage, WoW is Classic, you can also see your pre-raid biz gear for every single phase and also your biz gear. So when you level up your character, and if there's a dungeon at a lower level range before level 60, then you could do these to get experience and also get your pre-raid biz gear. So that's another thing that you should also consider preparing before the launch of WoW Classic Hardcore. Or well, at least before you reach max level on your Hardcore character. So what things are you preparing before the launch of WoW Classic Hardcore? And what are your plans at the launch? Will you rush to 60 or maybe just chill this time and focus on any other things? Let me know this in a comment below the video. As always, thank you so much for watching and stay tuned for more WoW Classic Hardcore videos. Peace!